right, we're at the R2Z Studios, and it's your man DJ Seiko, and we're back for another episode of Daddyman Radio, and that's the show where we talk about fathers and their fatherhood experience. So I'm going to ask the fathers about 4 triumphant moments in their fatherhood experience and 4 challenging moments in their fatherhood experience. And today we have with us good brother Ralph Slaughter. And how you doing, Ralph?
How you doing?
Okay,
Good
deal. Yeah, and he has a very slaughterhouse case that we're going to talk about. I mean, I'm still kind of reeling. We've been talking offline, and I'm really kind of reeling about the story that you were telling me. So, but as the tradition of Daddyman Radio, we want to talk about 4 things that have been challenging, and then 4 things that have been challenging, and 4 things that have been triumphant. And I want to keep the triumphant pieces for the last pieces. And let's talk about 4 things that have been hard as a father.
Okay. Yeah, mainly like I said, just keeping paying the support that I'm required to pay is the main thing.
Okay.
And
that child support demon.
Yes. Yeah. And then, like I said, it's a constant battle of trying to keep my livelihood or my CDL or what I use to earn my living with.
And you know, this is blowing my mind because as a father, I never think about how having children is going to impact my ability to make money.
Right.
But having children impacts your ability to earn a living, and in your case, negative.
Yes, it can. And like I said, you know, it's just sometimes I just fell into a weird kind of crack, you know, in the system. But it's just a constant battle with them because they're constantly trying to, you know, find ways of getting more money out of me. Like I was telling you before, where they would send the child support system would send the order to my current job, but they're saying that by law they can only take 65% of my income.
Okay.
Which
that's a lot.
Yes.
That's like 65 cents out of every dollar.
Exactly, 65 cents every dollar. Yeah. So that's what they're taking, but apparently they're saying that my job is not sending them everything on the order at one time because they can't legally send any more than 65%. So they they'll send me a letter saying we're gonna suspend your license, or you know, or we need you to send an additional out your back pocket, you know, additional $203 on top of your court order.
So I'm gonna take your money out of your money before you get your money.
Exactly.
And then you gotta pay me more money.
Exactly. Wow. Leave me in the back room and pay me that. Kind of way I look at it. You know,
or you lose your CDL license,
exactly.
And that's the way you bring in income.
Exactly. And so you know, and then we get to this situation where they try to use that to strong arm me into fleecing me for, say, a shakedown. That's the way I look at it.
Wow.
You know, where they call me in and they say, well, I need you to pay either $2,000 or we'll take $600. And then I say, okay, fine. Here's
so they'll even negotiate with you.
Sometimes,
like a creditor will.
Yeah, sometimes, yeah. And so you come in and you say, well, here's the money. And they say, oh, but by the way, before we get your license back, here's we need you to sign this form. And I said, well,
and what's the form say?
I don't know. It just says that if it's like they call it a payment agreement, which I've already have a payment agreement with the court order, if you ask me.
Right. The court order should be the payment agreement.
Yeah, but this is something totally separate, and they use this to steamroll or on a fast track to suspend my license. I guess it alleviates them having to do certain channels.
So this is a back door. Okay.
Yeah, I guess you can call it a back door, and I still don't understand exactly what that form is. So
all right, so staying current with your payments is number 1. That's been challenging.
Yes.
Number 2 is making sure you maintain your livelihood with your CDL license. What's the 3rd challenge that you've had as a father?
Dealing with this fraudulent child support issue. You know.
Okay.
Yes. You know, like we was talking.
Fraudulent child support.
Yes, that's actually a term that states. It's a dirty word that states don't like to use. Something you won't hear them say too much, but lawyers know about it. Mm-hmm. And from what I'm learning, it's from what some lawyers told me, they throw their hands up and say, "Hey, man, you go up against the state." You know what I'm saying? And your chances of winning is slim to none. That's what I've been told.
Wow.
You know?
So people who are supposed to be able to be hired so they can protect your rights won't protect your rights because they're going against the state.
Yes, sometimes they feel like that is just not really. They said the burden of proof is
just too high.
Just too high. It's just way too high.
So what is fraudulent child support?
Fraudulent child support could be anywhere when someone has found a way to manipulate the system to make it seem like you owe child support, or put you in a situation where you know you can be in arrearages, like my ex-wife did when I was living with her for 2 years. it's a prime example where, you know, she went down, even though I was the breadwinner of the home, she had closed the case, and she just decided that she told him, I haven't seen him in 2 years. So
that blows my mind.
Exactly, and they're saying that the only way you can fix this is by finding neighbors, which most of them have passed away at this point in time, or you got to find leases, bank statements, things of this nature. It's a lot of things you have to do, and most lawyers just say the burden of proof is just too much sometimes. Yeah.
All right, so if I understand this story correctly, your wife moved in.
Well, I moved in with her home.
Okay. You guys were married.
Right.
And so hey, I'm sitting here, we're having, you know, we're on the couch, and you're like, hey, money's coming out of my account, going into your account.
Right.
So you need to close this, baby. Yeah. And so she goes to the child support office.
Right.
And says, I need to close the case.
Right.
And they tell you the case is closed.
Exactly.
But you're telling me that when they say the case is closed, that don't mean nothing.
No, it doesn't mean nothing. It means absolutely nothing. It's still a rattlesnake that's sitting up in there ready to bite you at any time.
Wow.
And it can bite you any time from up to 20 years later. It doesn't matter.
So what people need to know is, what men need to know is, you don't want your case closed, you want your case terminated.
Exactly.
And what's the difference between a terminated case and a closed case?
Well, a closed case is when you go to the actual child support office themselves. They just say, okay, it's closed, and they sign it, put it in the drawer. But if it's going to be terminated, it has to go before the judge, and he has to terminate it, kill it, pretty much. Is what even if it's not created in front of a judge.
Right.
A judge, a lot of times, he didn't create my case, but it has to be killed in front of him. It's the only way it can be killed. And
see, that's the crazy thing, because who wants to go in front of a judge? Nobody wants to deal with judges. Nobody wants to deal with the courts.
Yeah.
So, wow. All right, so you had the case closed.
Yes.
And then you and your wife break up, and then she goes back and tells the people at child support, I ain't seen this dude in 2 years. And they say that he should have been paying for the last 2 years.
Exactly.
So you're immediately in arrears.
About
$10,000. Mm-hmm. So now you're a prisoner of the United States because you can't go out of the borders. Mm. You can't. You were telling me earlier that if you owe more than $2,500, you can't leave the United States.
Can't get a passport.
And if you're out of the United States when that moment happens, you're stuck out of the United States. You can't. They take your visa.
If they send an alert to customs, they will. You have to pay that before they let you back in. I didn't believe this myself, but you can actually Google this, and this is very true. It's crazy. I've never heard it like that before.
Man, this is demonic, man. Yeah. This is straight demonic.
But they literally will, if they alert on, because they can alert your passport for any reason.
Right.
They can alert your passport for child support too.
So they keep going after your CDL license.
Yes.
They go after your passport. What's the fourth thing? I'm just kind of overwhelmed here, man.
Well, as far as the fourth thing, like I said, I don't really have a fourth thing. It's just those things are just...
That's insurmountable.
Yeah, exactly. It's just it's enough, And, well, I guess you could say it's difficult sometimes keeping relationships with certain women that don't understand that type of...
Well, how does that affect the relationship you have with your children?
It has been very troublesome for my children because my ex-wife, for instance, when we went to court in 2012, and she temporarily lost that day when they lowered my child support to $65. It affects my children because she told she'll tell my children one thing, but what's not really happened. Like she told my kids that Daddy was crying, and so we didn't go to court that day. So what I do is, instead of calling her a liar, I just take the court documents and show them to my children, and it just puts them in a bad situation.
Yeah, that's gotta be precarious for them.
Yeah,
they're like, who do I live? I live with mom.
Right.
But she hates Dad.
Yeah, exactly.
Dad got the documents.
Exactly.
But I live.
I never forget that look on my daughter's face when I showed her the court documents after her mother came and she came and said, "Well, Mama said you was crying, and that's why they just threw the case out." I said, "Okay, baby." So I just showed her the court documents. I asked her, I said, "Well, what kind of papers are these?" And she said, "These are court documents." And I said, "Well, can you tell me the date and whose name on it?" She said, "That's yours and Mama's name on it." Mm-hmm. I just left it at that, you know what I'm saying? And I can just see the pain in her face, and she was confused as to why would her mother say this, but like I said, I'm not gonna call her mother a liar. You know what I'm saying? I've had to do, and my ex-wife for years, like I said, because I'm not here to bash her. It's not what
right.
But for years, she's always hidden from them that I was paying child support. You know what I'm saying? 'Cause I had to sit them down and explain to them. When I used to live downtown Newton News
right.
and Newsom Park on Orchid, and she would always come by on a Thursday and pick up an envelope and a checking envelope.
Mm-hmm.
And years later, I asked my kids. I said, "Do you know what she was coming to pick up?" And they said, "No, Mama would never tell us."
Mm-hmm.
So I would go into my folder and pull out just stacks and stacks of counts of checks. This is when I was paying her directly.
Mm-hmm.
Just stacks of checks, counts of checks. And I said, "Now you look through these and tell me what kind of money you see on these and who names on these things." You know what I'm saying? So I had to explain it to them that way, but she never wanted them to know. And I guess you could say that the fourth thing, the challenging thing, would be the relationship with my son, because that has been eroded at this point, because she's got in his head that, hey, Dad doesn't really do anything. But like I told my daughter, that's why Dad dressed the way he do. I can't afford to have that. You know what I'm saying?
They taking 65 cents out of every dollar you make. You can't afford to have nothing.
No.
Then they want more too.
Exactly.
And so you were telling me earlier that in keeping that CDL license is a beast, because every time you get a job, what happens?
I end up losing the job. I've lost about 3 jobs because of that. 4? Yeah.
4 jobs.
Yeah, I lost 4 jobs, and it just keeps happening. Like I said.
So the employer, out of your check, sends money to them.
Mm-hmm.
But then, if you don't pay them in addition to what the employer is taking, then they get your CDL license taken away.
Yeah. They've started doing that recently. And this is like right now, I can actually prove that they've been garnishing my check for the last 2 months to see what's going on. They was like, "It's life is suspended." Like, how is it suspended? I've been paying for so it got to be child support. Like, I've been paying child support for the last month and a half since I've been here. Mm-hmm. So how is it?
Since you've been at that job?
Yeah,
right.
They've been garnishing. So, and she said, "Well, you wasn't paying before you got the job, so that's why we decided to go ahead and suspend it." Like, well, she just go ahead and apply the order. I mean, I had to make a choice between being on the street or paying my child support. Sometimes I choose getting a hotel, like I told you before. I think I chose to get a hotel one night before I got that job, a few months before I had the job.
Because you were homeless.
Yeah, exactly. I was homeless. Yeah, I was homeless. I was living in a hotel for a while, and I only had enough money to last me a few weeks. So I was hoping I could bridge a gap till a job came through. Trucks have beds in them, and that's where you can drive and then you take a shower and then you
Right.
That was my plan.
So this child support demon, I keep calling it a demon because I've seen it destroy so many men who want to have good relationships with their children,
right?
And they can't when they're under this type of constant.
Yes.
Oh man.
I would agree. There's a lot of guys out there that are not doing what they're supposed to do, but unfortunately, these tactics that they're using, they don't really affect the people that. Because you got a lot of what I call knuckleheads out there.
Okay.
And these are people that, from my experience, that are living with people that are on Section 8 or whatever. They got girls who have.
Right.
They live with, and they don't really care about their tax ID. They don't pay tax at all. So. Either it's going to catch them when they get 40 or 60 down the line, maybe if they decide to straighten their life up, but those guys don't care. So people that are trying to, be a productive member of society, some of what these rules affect. And like I said, I understand, but I just think they're a little heavy-handed. It's kind of like, you have a pillow in your hand and they have an Abrams tank with a gun ship, what I'm saying? Like, you ain't got a chance. I'm like,
So what's it like when you walk up in the office at Child Support Enforcement?
It can be sometimes a very hostile environment, especially if the mother's with you. Like I told you before, the last time I went down there, when I went down with her, I got really hostile welcome. I mean, it was like I was like an outcast. But I told you, the funniest thing I've seen is when my ex-wife Tracy walked in, and they called her by her first name. I thought it was the weirdest thing. I just like, wow, really?
Like they have a car.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, they're like, "Hey, Tracy, come on in, sit down." I'm like, what? Really? You know what I'm saying? You just called me all kinds of things. I got to fill out all this paperwork out. And she just hand brought a red. I'm not kidding with you. Brought a red on in. I was like, wow, it's pretty,
So, and unfortunately, you said at this point, you're really kind of biding your time. You have 4 years.
Yeah, I got about 4 years left. Yeah, about 4 years left. And I'm doing everything I can to kind of get this monkey off of me because Can't say what I want to say on camera, but
And we really appreciate your openness and willingness to share your story, your experience. But what are 4 things that you're really proud of?
Well, like I said, the thing I'm really proud of is that the day my kids was born, and I'm proud of the fact that I get a chance to see them every other weekend. I really enjoy that. Okay. Yeah, or at least my daughter I do. My son, our relationship is still kind of strained right now. And I'm proud of the fact that I was able to, be there for her and some of her school events along the way. But that's pretty much about it.
Well, that's a lot. And you must be proud when you look back and you can open that drawer and show all those checks and say, hey, no matter what's been said, I have been a provider.
Yes. I mean, I keep them, and like I said, sometimes I still show my daughter to this day. I mean, I show her money orders for $600. I even had a $1,200 check that I showed her. You know what I'm saying? I let her see that. And a lot of times, what I do for a lot of young men that are 19 and 20 now, and you may laugh about this, but this is what I do to kind of get them to kind of shake them up a little bit about child support. And I let them know that sex and all this good stuff is fun, but I pick a piece of paper, envelope, and I tear it into 3 pieces. That's what I do, and I give it. I said, okay, the new 2 pieces right here, we don't get them to the mama. You know what I'm saying? And you left this little small piece right here. You know what I'm saying? For you to live off of, as far as clothes and shoes and whatever else you need. You know what I'm saying? And then I say, I take the other small piece and tear it in half. They're like, why you tear it in half? I said, well, I just came back and got a little bit more because I felt like I wanted to get a little bit more from it. And I said, you got to deal with this for the next 20 years. I said, that's how it's gonna be. So I just try to, I try to give them a visual thing to see, so they can kind of see what it's like, and that's kind of what I do. I like using metaphors sometimes, and not just So
that visual imagery.
They see the piece of paper toward me, like, man, I ain't got one to do.
I'm just imagining with a paper tip. Look, I'm messed up in the head now. I feel slaughtered. Wow. So, what is there any other? Because your story is really a cautionary tale for those fathers who might be facing child support. I mean, one, they definitely know now. Don't get it closed. Get that sucker terminated.
Yeah, exactly. That's very
so don't be afraid of going in front of the judge. Go in front of the judge so you can keep your sovereignty, your rights.
Exactly. Yeah.
What else would you share with them?
Other than that, I would say that if you are living with a woman, with this your wife or your girlfriend, from my experience, you really don't know anybody. You think you do, but you really don't. If you are standing there and she said that she just gonna close the child support case down, I say just don't do that. Just if you are in the system, just keep paying the system while you're living there with her, because if it goes sour and she decides to try to pull something, you've been constantly paying through the system anyway, and it kind of protects you by just staying in the system that way. You know what I'm saying? Because what happened to me, what happened, if I had just told her to leave it, if I just kept paying the system. It sounds crazy, but I think that would have been better in the long run, because she wouldn't have been able to use that against me.
And you wouldn't have gone at $10,000 in arrears immediately.
Exactly. So I tell a lot of young men that, if you're living with a woman, it may sound kind of crazy to be paying child support and all that stuff. Just if you're paying it, just let it keep coming out of your check or whatever. I know it's crazy, but that's the best way. You know what I'm saying? That's the best way, because I got burned like that.
Yeah. All right, man, you're not the only one. All right, well, Brother Slaughter, thank you for your story. And all right, that's another episode of Daddyman Radio. Gentlemen, hope you've learned some good lessons, and let's go out and be good fathers. Peace.
Go.
All right, bonus footage. We have some more lessons. So, good brother, what's your lesson?
Make sure if you're living with her, your name is on that lease. If your name is not on that lease, you have no rights at all. That's why she can take you back to court and say
I never seen
it
for 2 years. Your name's not on the lease.
So, but if your name's on the lease, and you can, and also checks that you've paid the rent.
Yes, definitely to have that.
Yeah, that's your support.
But now I can tell you a funny story about that, because I have had, and this is the strangest thing I've ever seen in my life, where we were still living together, and we actually went to court to child support, where we both had the same address, standing in front of the judge. I swear to God, I gotta file those papers, man. I have.
I'm laughing, but it's crazy. I'm bewildered.
I'm like,
man.
you don't gotta be kidding me.
I'm like, demonic, man.
I'm like, are you kidding me? We both standing side by side, and we got the same address.
What did the judge say?
I don't know. He looked at me and thought, what kind of case? It's crazy. Hey man, what are you gonna say? He don't care. He's just doing the case. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, she took me right. I'm like, are you serious? We both got the same address, and we standing there. I'm like, both. It said it. Same address. Wow. Really. So I've been through some stuff with this stuff, man. It's like, I can't wait till it's over, man. It's been a ride. You know what I'm saying?
But sage advice from the good brother out there who's our cameraman today. Anything else you want to share?
Keep all documentation, brothers. Keep all documentation.
Everything.
I don't care if it's a money order for $50. Keep all documentation. That is the only way.
So if you're not married, keep all documentation.
Yeah.
Keep all checks and payments that you're doing. Even if you love this girl,
don't give her cash.
So deep in love, don't give her cash.
Never
give cash.
Never.
Okay.
Never give cash. Always.
That's your boo. That's your boo. Y'all live together.
Screw that.
See what happened to me?
Right. And y'all were married.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Never give cash. Always check or money order.
They told me
you got to have a paper trail.
It sounds crazy, but if I had done exactly that while I was married to her, I wouldn't be in the situation I'm in now. You know what I'm saying? That sounds crazy. That's a lesson I'll tell anybody. I said, if you live in there, I know it sounds stupid, just stay in the system and don't even try to come out. Just stay in it and just let them take it out the check. Because you're gonna have a fight one day. She gonna throw a fit, and most black women, I can only speak for them. I can't speak for other races.
Right.
I'm not saying all, but most black women, they will try to use that as a tool to hurt you. And if you're still in the system and you've been paying and you current, then she can't do nothing about it.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? She can't go down there and say that, I haven't seen it for 2 years. You know what I'm saying? Like what happened to me. Can't do it.
Wow. Well, you kind of remind me of what Barack Obama, President Obama said. 4 more years.
Yeah.
4 more years. 4 more years. And then you can build a relationship with your son.
Well, yeah, I'm hoping that eventually, we can kind of work things out. You know what I'm saying? It's just,
how old is he?
He's 19 now. Just the example he has over there is not the greatest example. He just doesn't have the greatest example as far as with her boyfriend. That he's around more.
Gotcha. 4 more years.
Mm-hmm.
4 more years. Peace.